Hello and welcome to the Chrissie Mayr podcast. We are on iTunes, YouTube, Spotify, and SoundCloud. And if you're listening to us on iTunes right now, please go and leave a 5-star review. I do read the best reviews every week. Here we go. Here's a great review from Brent Wears Crocs. Fudgin' great. Dang, this podcast is sweet, but she doesn't even like Mountain Dew that much. But she's hella based. So rock on, brother. She's super great though. Listens to so well and is not afraid to say the funny stuff you wish you would say out loud. Thank you, Brent. And I'm glad you're wearing Crocs. Very good if you're in a kitchen or a slippery place. Speaking of slippery places, I've got some dates coming up. Woo! And also, thank you to everybody who came out to the show at Hyenas in Dallas. We sold out. We sold out Saturday. That was amazing. Friday was really great as well. And I didn't know what to expect. There was a lot of snow in Dallas, and you Texans really came out. You did not give a fudge. So more dates coming up. This Friday, Comedians of the Compound is coming to Royersford, Pennsylvania. That's the SoulJoel's Comedy Club. And then this Sunday, I'll be headlining the Stress Factory in New Brunswick, New Jersey. Another date in New Jersey coming up, March 20th. Comedians of the Compound are coming to Tiff's Ale House, aka the Dojo of Comedy. That's in Morris Plains, New Jersey. And then I'm going to Florida with my buddy Tim Young. We're going to be performing at the Boca Black Box Theater in Boca Raton, Florida, end of April. That's April 30th. And then May 1st, the Lake Park Black Box Theater in Palm Beach on May 1st. Then we're going to Side Splitters in Tampa, May 2nd. And then we're hitting up Wisconsin. We'll be at the Skyline Comedy Club in Appleton, Wisconsin, May 7th and 8th, followed by Bricktown Comedy Club in Oklahoma City, May 9th. Again, all those dates are with, or most of these dates are with Tim Young. And then Comedians of the Compound is coming back to, I'll be back in Texas. We'll be in Austin, May 14th and 15th. That'll be great. And then May 18th, Zanies in Nashville with Tim Young. May 19th, Stand Up Live in Huntsville, Alabama. Then Hilarities in Cleveland, June 3rd. With Tim Young. So many dates. For details and tickets, go to my website, chrissiemayr.com. I try to keep it as best updated as I possibly can. I want to thank our sponsors so much. This episode is brought to you by cushydreams.com. I have mentioned them before. They are basically my go-to now for CBD products. You guys, vapes are out. Pens are out. If you're into dips, I don't even want to talk to you. I mean, this is a whole nother world here. You need to join the men and women who have thrown away their vapes and their gummies and other inferior sources of CBD for this pristine, high quality, smokable CBD. Cushy Dreams has you covered. They've got these pre-rolled joints and extraordinary smokable flower in, I call them different flavors, but they're different strains of indica sativa blends that really are going to correlate to whatever your goal is for the day. Dream, hustle, peace, create. They have lots of different cute names. So I'm a big fan of them. I really love the pre-rolls. You just smoke them like a joint, except you're not going to go out to lunch. You're not gonna, if you're like sensitive to like, weed, there's like negligible amounts of THC in this. I think it's something like 0.3%. So you're going to get that mind relaxation. You're going to get that body relaxation, but without that super high. So you can focus and you can do stuff and you can move on with your day. They have incredible, they are constantly doing testing to ensure quality and safety. You can check out everything on their website, cushydreams.com. You can see they're really basically very scientific about it. And also it'll show you like the effect of each of these strains. If you use the promo code CMP, all my Chrissie Mayr podcast listeners get 20% off all these Cushy Dreams products. Plus, you're going to get free shipping. Boom, guys. I love it. I know it works for me. It calms me down. I'm an anxious mess sometimes, so I very much believe in it for other people. This episode is also brought to you by adamandeve.com. I know I have stressed in the past that they are the number one online seller of, it's the number one adult toy superstore. We all know that. But they have other things too. Yes, of course, they have vibes, lingerie, lubes, and lotions, but they also have sex furniture, which I didn't know until I just looked at the website. They have fun scented candles, stuff for bondage, lubes, oils, bath bombs. It's really like the sky's the limit, guys. Get yourself a new toy, spice up your life. Go to adamandeve.com, use the promo code CMP. You're going to get 20% off your whole order plus free shipping. Guys, I just went like a week or so in Dallas with no vibrator. So, I'm anxious to get back on the wagon. Anyway, speaking of shaking things up. Yeah, this is a good segue. I am so excited to have this guy on the podcast today. I have been a fan of and a supporter of his comedy club for years now, being sort of a born and raised New Yorker. He is the owner of Stand Up New York, one of my all-time favorite comedy clubs in New York City. Welcome to the stage. I always host this show like a freaking stand-up comedy show. It's Dani Zoldan, everybody. Hello, with a sleeping child next to him.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you for coming on. Yes,
this is Ryder, by the way.
Dani was like, I have my lawyer with me. Is that okay? And I was like, what? And then it's his sleeping child. For those of you just listening on the audio, it's pretty great. It's pretty fantastic. So, Dani, your comedy club has been doing, I would say, one of the better jobs over the last year with the pandemic stuff. You guys haven't thrown in the towel, which you would think all comedy clubs in New York City is the hub of comedy. It was always considered to be New York and LA, and you would have thought that all of the comedy clubs in New York City would have been doing everything they could to keep comedy going throughout the last year, but some have really kind of quit. And your club is one of the few that has really been doing the most. You guys had shows basically throughout the whole spring and summer. You were doing park shows at Central Park, basically any park in the 5 boroughs. You guys were doing stand-up shows at. So I really commend you for that. I think I was supposed to do one, and it was raining, and I didn't.
You haven't done a park show?
I haven't. The one I was booked on, it rained, and then I was supposed to get like rescheduled, and then I couldn't do the rescheduled date.
Well, it's gonna come back once it gets nicer. We're gonna continue the park shows.
Yeah, and how did you guys get that idea? What was your process like? When things shut down, did you have times where you and John were feeling sort of like hopeless, or like what were you feeling during when the lockdown started?
Let's see, March, April, May, there was pretty much nothing going on. John lives in Jersey, far out in Jersey, and he was just hanging out over there. And I live a few blocks away from the club, and I have 3 kids, so
Aww.
I got.
Is this the youngest one next to you, or is this?
Yeah, this is the youngest. But I went to the club every day. Pretty much all day, March, April, May, my kids were on Zoom school, so I couldn't be in the house when that was going on. So
you didn't want to be like lurking in the background, like, what are you learning? How's it going? Is your teacher hot?
Just wanted to get out. So yeah, the club was really just like my man cave, and I've owned the club for 12 years, and It's been pretty chaotic, shows every single night and no breaks. So March was really the first time again in 12 years where everything just stopped, and I welcomed it. And it was like
we
a
all
nice,
did, because we were like,
period.
wow, a break. Yeah, like so many of us New Yorkers, we never take a vacation. Especially in comedy.
Yep.
My vacation would be like if I happened to go to Florida and I happened to be outside and looking at water in between shows. So
yeah, so it's great. I guess everyone in the industry, could have used a break. So I didn't mind it, and I was at the club, and I just got organized, and I was backlogged in emails, got to clear that. And then I think it was June or late May, the weather was getting nicer, and I got a city bike membership, and I bought a lawn chair, and I would just city bike to Central Park in the afternoon. I would go to the club in the morning, and then like after lunch, I would just city bike over to the park and sit in my lawn chair and just continue working on my laptop from like Sheep Meadow and Central Park. And like after like a week or two of that, I saw there were like hundreds of people on the lawn, just having a good time, and you know, there's a lot of action going on. So I remember just emailing John, our booker, just like, dude, like, you know, like the park's packed. Like, why don't we just do some comedy shows? And yeah, he liked the idea. So we did a show less than a week later, and 50 people showed up. We had 6 comics on the show, and it was an awesome experience. It was the first time comics performed like in 3 months.
Wow.
It was the first time like New Yorkers like got to like go out and just laugh and enjoy themselves.
So was it in Central Park?
Yeah, it was in Sheep Meadow in Central Park.
Oh, yeah. Isn't that near where all the softball fields are?
Yeah, it's on 69th, entrance to 69th and Central Park West. And it just felt great. So, you know, I remember telling John after, this is our opportunity to do so many good things, to give comics stage time, and get them paid. And there's literally no entertainment going on in the city. There's no movies, there's no concerts, there's no Broadway, there's nothing going on. We're the only game in town. Let's like really take advantage of it. So I told John, let's do like 50 shows a week, and he thought I was crazy.
50? You want to do 50 a week?
That was the goal, and we did it. We were doing shows in Central Park. We had 2 locations, Sheep Meadow, and then on the Upper East Side, Cedar Hill. We were in Battery Park, we were in McCarran Park, we were in Prospect Park, we were in Astoria Park, and Saturdays we were doing like 10 shows.
Wow, I didn't know it was that many. No. That's amazing. And
we scaled it like really well.
Was it a challenge, cool, like the setting up? Because had you guys done like, you know, dabbled in any kind of outdoor shows before? Like what was the setting up like?
Yeah, so I mean, I'm not the best like operations person or manager, and I had someone working with me part-time as a consultant, Catherine, who's just like super organized, and she's like, let me just manage the managers, you know, because like every park location we had managers. So like Saturdays we had 10 shows, we had 10 managers.
Wow. Yeah, but you need to, because it's like you can't be out. These locations are so far apart, so you need to have handlers.
Yeah. So Catherine like did an amazing job, just like hiring managers for the shows and training them and giving them like a Stand Up New York in the Park sign, and giving them like a backpack of like sanitizer and the mic and the amp and White Claw and
White Claw. Yeah. That is definitely essential when being outside during the summer.
Yeah. So she did a great job, just like on the operations side and managing everything. And then John like killed it like with the booking. And then like I stepped up with like marketing, and just, you know, putting our stuff out there, and the club's voice, like that's where I came into the picture. But like John, Catherine, and Kyle, you know, who he helps with those social media, and he helps John with booking. I don't know, I'm very happy with my team. We were able, you know, to put this together, because before COVID at the club, we'd only have 14 shows a week.
Wow. Yeah.
And it was like a mess running 14 shows a week. So we went from like running 14 shows in the week during the week at the club, not run so well, to 50 shows a week in the parks, which I think ran pretty well. It was pretty cool.
So maybe you guys are going to stay outside from now.
Yeah, we do better outside.
Wow.
We do better outside.
I remember at one point, I don't know if this was before the outdoor shows, like I remember hearing like some sort of drama was going down at the club because you guys had a mic, and then people came because, like you said, it had been months since comics had performed. You guys had a mic, and then you guys were getting shit for that, which I don't understand. Like,
yeah, I think it was like May. You know, it was again like people were indoors for a few months, and a comic friend was like, let's just do like an open mic, and we did it. We had 15 comics and no audience, and yeah, like it was stupid. Like people like came down on it. Just have like nothing better to do.
Yeah, there seems to be a lot of those, but I know the comics were like I'm sure very grateful to do it. If there's really nowhere to perform and it's been months and you're feeling rusty and it's like you're also just not feeling good. Like for comics, like this is of course it's our craft, but it's like our mental, spiritual outlet as well. So it's
yeah,
really
like who are these people to
yeah.
like tell people like they can't do what they want? We're
It's
on
like,
the same page about
and
that.
if you're nervous, if you're like a person who is a virus nervous person, like, well, then yeah, definitely stay home. Don't be out doing things. And yeah, but like it's kind of wrong to control
Well,
what
it's
other people
usually
do.
the ones like the failed like comics or failed, industry people that come out and criticize people that are hustling and doing things.
There seems to be a lot of that because I'm sure the audiences that came out to these park shows were they not super grateful to be there, and like what was the feedback you were getting from audience members?
It was amazing. I mean, I didn't get that type of feedback again when we were open. When I've been there for 12 years.
Wow.
We would get messages on social, and people would email us like, "Thank you. We're so grateful, that you guys are doing this, and we haven't been out in months, and it's a great service that you're doing." And it was a great feeling. I felt like we had a purpose, and comics also were grateful. Even though there was no roof, they were grateful to perform, and we paid out like thousands of spots over the summer and fall.
And was that hard to do? Because you guys were not, you didn't have the regular income from the club. You just sort of like made it work. I mean, these spots
we were selling tickets actually, and our ticket sales quadrupled. Again,
wow.
like we sold more tickets in parks than we did in the club. We lost the drink revenue, but our ticket revenue like quadrupled. Our Instagram following doubled during COVID.
That's amazing. And those people are gonna, they're probably really grateful for that because it's at a time where like Broadway is gone, all of the arts and culture from New York City, and still kind of gone, well, still very much gone, despite de Blasio's like weird little outdoor dancing displays. There's like nowhere to see any kind of live show. So it's like those people were grateful to have it over the spring and summer. And that once things open up again, they'll be back and they'll support and appreciate you guys even more because you were there at a time like what they had nothing to do.
Yeah, I mean, we really found our voice during the pandemic. And I think when we reopen, we'll be stronger than ever.
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, you mentioned before, like there are some people like haters, and of course, like anybody listening to this is like, oh yeah, if you're someone who's nervous about the virus or you're super like unhealthy or you're like a fat mess or whatever reason is that you're so afraid of the virus, you should stay home. But it's odd. And what I've noticed, like coming towards your club and also like sort of aimed at the stand, there are, and it really comes down to a few individuals who are kind of trying to cancel comedy at the very few clubs who are working so hard to keep it open for audiences and for comics. And it's funny, and you look into these people, whether it's a long tweet thread that I stumble upon or, like a hit piece online or something, and you look deeper into these people and you're like, oh, these aren't like, what you would consider like a real critic. These are people who are kind of like, failed comics, or you look into them a little deeper and you're like, oh, they didn't quite make it, or they're a little like busted looking. You can quickly surmise like, okay, I understand why this person is like a negative Nancy. It's because they're not like crushing it at their own life. But I just, and I know from like a performer perspective, I've kind of been a target of these folks for a few years now, but I want to know what did it feel like for, the club to be a sort of target for this kind of harassment?
I mean, I can think of like, okay, so there's different levels. There's like things that they're pretty harmless. Like when we did shows in the pictures, we would get like comments like, wear a mask, I don't see that person wearing a mask,
Mm-hmm.
Like that's like annoying.
Oh yeah, I just saw some Instagram comments from my shows in Dallas this past weekend. Like, I hope you get COVID, and it's like, Dude, don't you have anything better to do? Like, there's a room like with 130 something plus people, like all willingly decided to like come in, take it off when they sit down. Like, let people fucking live.
I mean, those people they're just like the peanut gallery, we'll call them. You know, they're just the ones. They're not like so active, trying to like bring people down. They're just like the peanut gallery. When clubs or comics post something that I don't like, they like pointing out, you know, negative things like wear a mask, you know.
Yeah.
And then there's like the next level. You know, I don't know if I want to mention their name.
Okay.
But I mean I nicknamed him and his organization the SS.
I was gonna pull up a few tweets for context, but if you don't want to mention their name, I can.
No, you can. But the leader of those people, you know, is SS.
Yes.
And so I call them the SS. And the other and his right hand man is Eva Braun.
Because they're in it together. Yeah. So what Donnie's talking about is, and if you follow me at all on social media, like
you can mention their names, go for it.
Okay, I posted this. I'm like, check with your lawyer. He's asleep. I mentioned this guy, Seth Simons. I talked about this on the episode with Kunal Aurora, maybe a week or two ago, and the title was like this hit piece, like the New York City comedy scene has an alt-right problem, and he was like just struggling so hard to like sew together all the buzzwords of right now. Like, I just think any sort of like quote journalist is trying to get clicks and make money off of January 6th, and honestly, like whatever they can do to like include that in their article is going to get clicks, because people, you know, not that many people percentage wise were there. A lot of people like to report on. I was there. It really wasn't that crazy, except for a few individuals, like 99.9% like legitimately peaceful, not like BLM peaceful, but like actually peaceful. So here's this guy Seth Simons writing this hit piece, and I can't even remember the online like outlet that he posted it to.
I think it was National Review. Was that?
Oh,
what it was?
Yeah, the New Republic.
Or the New Republic.
The New Republic. Exactly. See, that's how memorable it was. And just long, like just really stretching, you know, throwing in Gavin McGinnis for no reason. I'm like, he hasn't done anything in like years, you know. People love to throw in Anthony Cumia. It's like, again, like Cumia like kind of sticks to his own network, his own people, but like, you know, he's trying to like make this through line of like, you know, basically anybody who's a working comic must be alt-right. And it's like, okay.
I mean, what do you make of it?
I think, well, I didn't know what to make of it at first because I was like, I don't remember like ever like meeting or interacting with this individual, and then you look him up, and I saw a video of him like just doing like horrible bird poetry, and I'm like, oh, this explains it. Yeah, he's just like unfulfilled, and he, you know, needs to work on himself, and it's easier to shit on other people. And
I mean, that's probably the only way he gets attention is raging, right?
I don't know if it was Brandon Tatum, somebody I was doing in a podcast episode with. They said like, when it comes to men, they're either creating something or they're destroying something. And I was like, oh, that's pretty epic. Like, that's pretty telling. You know, like when women are depressed, like, I don't know, we'll do other weird manipulative shit. But I feel like with men, like, yeah, if they can't build something, create something, be part of something larger than themselves, like they're gonna tear something down. They're gonna throw someone down a flight of stairs. Like they're gonna, you know what I mean, doing the kind of shit these guys are doing.
Have you ever met like a legit good comic that likes this kid?
No, I really haven't. And that's the thing, is like you always hear too, like the boos come from the cheap seats. It's like it's never somebody who's like has a great career. That's
no.
That's criticizing.
I don't know. I don't get it. Again, it's I don't know why some of these media websites like pick his trash up, you know, publish him.
Yeah, I don't understand either. I think because, you know, he probably.
And I think they don't know. I think they don't know that he's a parasite in the industry, and I think they'll publish him once, and then they'll probably get a lot of letters from people, and then they won't hire him again. So. Like I know the next publication that he's writing for, and I think he's doing a piece on our partnership with the healthcare company, and like that website, it's like a joke. Like it's like a step lower than like anything he's ever written for.
And you think about these like mostly typically like leftist liberal, news outlets. It's like they also want to have the buzzwords in there. They also want to be able to say, oh, I have this piece about the alt-right. And it's like, oh God, come on. At this point, like
I just think they don't know. They haven't like done research on this kid. And I think once they do, I don't think they would hire him. And I think so I think that's good for our industry,
Yeah, that is good. Like I feel like the cream eventually like rises to the top. I am trying to pull up here a tweet because you actually got a little bit sassy. That's what I love about you, Dani, is like you get sassy on Twitter. Like some club owners and bookers, they don't like to involve themselves on Twitter. They don't, if there's a scuffle between comics online, like, you're the exception. Like most bookers and like producers like don't at all like to jump in. But I feel like you and Pat Billigan like are among the few who actually like jump in, and of course that's Frank Pellegrino, my boyfriend. Yeah. I didn't want to name him first because it looks like I'm just shouting out my boyfriend. But like you three are the ones that really go out of your way to stick up for comics and for comedy, which I appreciate more than I can even convey. It's rare, and it's like incredible to have somebody in your corner.
Did you see my tennis match with Jake Flores?
Well, yes. Well, that's what I'm trying to bring up, and it's hard because he either he has blocked me or I have blocked him. I don't know. I think after the hippies came out, I was like, all right, I don't love to block, but that
kid's the worst.
So I'm trying to like, my advice to this is you, self-proclaimed comedy journalist, is to not burn every bridge in the industry. And I don't think I can now even see this tweet. Oh, right, because I think either he deleted it or he blocked me. And
looks like he blocked you.
Okay, maybe blocked. Well, great. And can I even see it if I click? No, I can't. Well, great.
So crazy.
What?
Yeah, he blocks people that he doesn't agree with.
Wow. All right, so I'm gonna try this again. Maybe I'll go to my other account. If you could, while I'm pulling this up, if you could briefly describe like what your sort of Twitter beef was about, because I think like Seth, I feel like it was this guy Seth and this guy Jake Flores. Jake Flores does stand up.
They're the SS.
Yeah, they're the SS. I think Jake did.
They're all right.
Did stand up at one point, and then all I know about him is that his best friend died of a drug overdose, and then he immediately started dating this guy's girlfriend, and I was like, all right, well,
we need to move on from that.
We all grieve in different ways. Like I know I was pretty messed up when my mom died, but it just like, it never occurred to me to start banging my dad. But so he kind of like, but I haven't seen it. I mean, even when things were good, I would never see this guy like on shows. So that I've
never heard of him before last week.
Yeah. So then like Jake, he started coming after you because you have started like basically a group that like comics can get free health insurance or like cheaper health insurance.
I mean, so it wasn't even my idea. Like 2 weeks ago, a company called Common Health, they reached out to me and they said, they actually DM'd me on Twitter, one of the employees, and said he's been following what we're doing and trying, thanked us for like keeping comedy alive in the city. And he said he wanted to offer just free access to healthcare visits and COVID tests to comedians. And I was like so grateful, that they offer that, and it's just such a nice thing to see during this time.
Yeah.
So we announced a partnership like the next day, and then this Eva Braun, announced on Twitter, like, why does a comedy club owner get to decide who has health care or not? Burn the clubs down. That's sick.
That is sick. And it's like, and then of course it's like, you didn't say we're only giving the good comics insurance. It's like literally probably if you've done like a show, I don't know.
And then the FS slid into my DMs. Just curious, how are you deciding which comics are getting this healthcare?
Isn't that so telling of him? He immediately goes, so which? Crazy. And it's like, at no point did you say certain comics.
He's like, I'm just trying to understand. He's like, I'm just trying to understand it. He's a cockroach.
Yes, I did see you use the cockroach emoji.
Yeah, so, when I talk about him, I use the cockroach emoji.
And I even saw that you responded on Twitter with the cockroach emoji, but you wrote back like, "No, we'll do a simple Google search."
You say you're a comic. Yes. If you say you're a comic, we'll Google you, and if you're a comic, you have access.
Yeah.
And then he tried to call the head of the CEO of Common. And
for real?
Yeah.
Wow.
But they wouldn't take his call.
No way.
They know he's a cockroach.
Oh man.
Yeah. So they squashed him.
Wow.
They stepped on him.
Burning bridges. He can't even like do what he wants to do. He can't even do his investigative journalism. Yeah. And then Jake tweeted, "This country needs single payer healthcare so fucking bad. Right now, the only way for many working comedians in New York to see a doctor is via the arbitrary measure of whether the people that own right-wing comedy clubs consider you a comedian."
Right wing. I voted for Biden. We actually did pro bono work for AOC before she was elected to Congress. So I'm actually pretty progressive, and I hate Trump. But he still called us alt-right.
Isn't that wild? Like, how does that make you feel when someone calls you alt-right, literally over like a Twitter scuffle?
Yeah, I mean, I offered, to pay for 3 sessions with a psychiatrist. I think he needs help,
Yeah, you said, "I voted for Biden. You're really one of the dumbest, quote, comics I've been in the industry in 10 plus years."
I'm taking some stuff out of the Trump playbook, by the way.
Oh yeah, he is a very good troll. Like him or hate him, he's really mastered.
I've implemented some of Trump's like tactics in my tweets lately.
Yeah,
like comics and quotes.
I also produce pro bono video work for AOC. Keep the lies coming, though. You're worse than Trump and his cronies. Oh, and in comparison to Trump, man, it's just gonna light this guy up. "I don't give a F who you voted for, dumbass. I'm calling you right wing because you're promoting a bunch of right wing assholes that threaten people in my community." Oh my God, really? Why threaten? We're a threat because we're funnier than you? Like
you're all funnier than him.
Yeah, it's like if you feel threatened just because somebody's, I don't know, working harder than you.
I keep on telling him, like, call me, like, let's get you help, man. I'm offering it.
So you think this is like more of a mental illness?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
1000%. Also with the SS.
Yeah. Well, I don't.
And again, if they, my offer stands. Like they can call me, text me. I'll it's confidential. I'll introduce them to some good psychiatrists.
So you really are like, yeah, my help still stands. I am making myself available.
Yeah. Yes, but it's not going to happen. I don't think. I think they need help. I feel bad. I feel bad for them. I was upset like for like 2 days after they attacked me, and they were asking questions about this program. And then I was like lying in bed the other night, just feeling bad for them because they're obviously sick.
Yeah. Look, I haven't blocked. This is Jake saying, "No, he's part of, quote, save the clubs." Why does that have to be in quote?
That's bad that we're trying to save the clubs.
Oh, it's so terrible though. We want to keep our business going, our small business going. No, he's part of Save the Clubs thing by all these right wing. I don't think wanting to work is a right wing quality. I think I guess maybe it is, unless he's pretty cozy collecting unemployment every week. So I guess wanting to work is a right wing attribute.
Yeah,
it's calling him.
He's mentally ill.
Nazi ass business owner in New York City trying to frame.
You're Nazi because you have a business, right?
Yeah. I don't feel like you're trying to murder any Jews. In fact, you're trying to give them work.
Not Nazi. And one of my tweets was like, "I'm actually a Sabbath observer, and my kids go to yeshiva." Just calling me a Nazi.
Wow. And I know how I feel about this.
And he's verified on Twitter, and he said, "Burn the clubs down."
Yeah. But I don't know. It's a blue check on Twitter is like pretty meaningless. It's like they were giving them out at a time, and like I don't know. Twitter.
Yeah, but I mean, if Twitter took away his badge, like I think he would kill himself. I think that's the only thing he's holding on to.
That's true. I think he has like no other like real success.
No, I think that's it. I think he delivers pizza. I want to like order from the shop.
No, there's anything wrong with that. Yeah, it's just like, man, focus on you. Build yourself up. Be the best like bird, poet, whatever, open micer that you can be. You know, friends, girlfriend banging, whatever your thing is, man. I mean, like,
I heard focus on himself and get better.
I heard he is like, he's a little bit of, it's okay to be sexually deviant. I heard that he like came on a cookie and ate it. Like there was a porn of his that people were sort of passing around. And I'm unfortunately watching it was like probably one of the biggest mistakes of my life. I was like, oh, cool. I'm going to be dry for a year. So again, like do whatever you want, man, but focus on creating yourself, building yourself up, the people around you, rather than like taking people down, because it's like, yeah, maybe you guys are not in the same sphere, you know, and maybe that he's emboldened by the fact that, oh, well, these guys wouldn't have worked me anyway. I'm not good enough to get a spot there, so I might as well just burn it all down.
I mean, unfortunately, that's his like identity right now until he finds like something else to do.
Yeah. Are you worried that, you know, the hit pieces or the rambling Twitter threads, do you fear that any of this like has an effect on like consumers, audiences? Do you think, you know, people take pause and go, oh, like, I guess I shouldn't go to this club?
No, look, for a few days I thought that. I was worried, but I think whatever, you know, the SS writes, like a quick Google search of him, I think, you know, washes away everything that he's written.
Because he shows himself to be kind of not a reputable source.
No, he's a terrible Google. If you Google him, it's like a disaster.
Really? What? I have not Googled him. What comes up?
I mean, like sexual, like, I mean, predator.
Oh, really?
Stuff.
The sexual stuff. Oh, yeah, the sex peth. Yeah, sex peth stats was a trending hashtag. Yeah, because he would do that thing that like guys sometimes do when a girl is like unconscious. That's when they really like bring their best A game for seduction. They're like, I'll wait till she's passed out, and then I'll really do good with women.
It's not the. You know, it's not the New York Times. I would be scared if, like, the New York Times, like, we're trying to dig something up, or the Wall Street Journal, or even the New York Post. But this, you know, kid from wherever the hell he's from, wherever his articles are written, it's all like trash publications. And then again, one like quick Google search, right? One quick like Google search of him, like it'll all be discounted, so I'm not worried.
Yeah, and even you have the great Tim Dillon chiming in on the topic, tweeting, comics who haven't been paid to do comedy ever are arguing about whether, when it's safe to return to clubs that they don't perform at. And then of course Stancil, who I know, he's a Compound Media guy, CC's, Jake Flores. It's all pretty perfect.
Yeah, and look, I know I have the comics on my side, and our comedy fans. So I feel pretty like good, like whatever they say, like I have support, you know. I have a family. I'm married for 15 years. I have 3 kids. I have a business. You know, I've supported the comedy community, our fans. Like one cockroach is not gonna like take me down, you know.
Yeah.
I'm like Trump. I'm crazy. Like if he tries to like bring me down, like I'll try to produce like a comedy festival in Idaho, like in his hometown. I told like Aaron Berg and Gino about that. Gino's on board,
and they don't.
His whole town will like know about him, and they'll run him out of town.
Because these two dudes, they don't like Compound Media. I have a show on Compound Media, but even before I had my own show, like I would appear on Aaron and Gino's show all the time. It's called In Hot Water. They're wild. They have a wild sense of humor. Yeah, they do racial jokes, but we all know
they're the best. I love them.
Like you are lying if you honestly can say with a straight face that you've never laughed at a racial joke, you've never laughed at a stereotype. Like you are full of shit. And so the people that pretend that they're somehow higher or better than that, it's like, oh really? Because you haven't like made or laughed at a joke about like all white people do this. So it's like, you know, you can't even like it's a terrible argument. And people have told me that like, you know, I'm an easy target too because I'm a woman, so I'm not like, you know, a dude. I'm like less of a threat or whatever. I'm not gonna like come fight you if I like see you out. I mean, like I'm not gonna come fight anybody physically. I mean, I don't know.
I mean, Chrissy, if you were in my position, what would you do? Like, I'm getting different advice from different people. Like, a comic tells me completely ignore, because when you respond, it just gives them oxygen. And then other people like when I'm trolling them.
You know what it is? It's like, in a perfect world, like, yeah, like, don't. I can understand that you don't respond, don't even, but I think you have to respond, because just look at what's happening now. Like, the people that have been censored on Twitter or other social media. Well, and guess what? Their enemies, or the people who oppose them, are the ones that get to say, like, I'm just using Gavin McInnes as an example. Like, let's say he's censored, he's taken off anything. Well, now he can't speak for himself. And now everybody who hates his guts gets to tell the story of Gavin, where it's like, you know what I mean? Like, that's why I'm so not for censorship. I'm not, I don't think anybody should be like banned. I think the market should decide. It shouldn't be up to some other like aggregator or some other like taste maker to be like, oh no, you can't have this platform. It's like, yeah, if you're big and you've got a fan base, then you should cater to your fan base. And like, when it comes to comedy, so to make a long story short, like, I love what you're doing. I think more comedy club bookers need to stand up for comics, because I think there are some comics that are afraid to stand up for themselves. They're so afraid of their career being torpedoed by like, I'm not, but like by a wrong tweet or something. And that's the thing. It's like, it's taken me a few like torpedoings to realize, like, oh yeah, this is not going to kill me. This is not gonna, like, you can't. It's almost like you can't touch me. It's like, my fans love me for who I am. They're going to come out to shows, like, and they're going to tell their friends, and then people with a similar sense of humor. It's like, they're going to
abandon you.
Yeah. And once I like, and it's part of getting older too, like, you're figuring out like what matters, what doesn't, like, there is part of you as a comic that, like, and especially as a chick, like, you want everyone to like you. You want to be accepted. You need the validation. But then you're like, when it comes down to it, it's like, I also see right through these people, and it's like, this is about you. Like, I don't think you've ever come to a show of mine or watched an episode of any of my podcasts, because if you did, you'd be like, oh shit, like, she's a real person and she's funny or whatever. So I appreciate that you
think that you clap fight,
back. Yes, because if you just ignore
I do
them,
it in a funny way. Also,
you're really funny about it.
I use Eva Braun's like head as a tennis ball.
Yeah. Because if you don't tweet back, and there are no examples of comedy club bookers and producers that don't stand up, well then guess what? It's the Seth Simons and the Jake Floreses who get to tell the story. And maybe for the person who doesn't know any better, like, what's this about? And if you don't have anybody with like basically like challenging that, then I feel like it's more likely that people will believe their side. But again,
how does it end with these two?
I don't know.
I've never met in my life two people like them. Have you?
Yeah, I have never. Usually, like, I was gonna say these are the people I wouldn't talk to in high school, but I talked to everybody in high school. Like, I was not even like a cool girl, but I wasn't like, I was just like, I was friends with the nerds. I was a cheerleader, but I wasn't like I wasn't a cool one. I was a base, you know what I mean? Like, I was one on the bottom that, like, you got to hold their feet, and then your hands would smell like feet at the end of the day. I don't know.
I've never met two people like this in my life.
Yeah. And that's the thing, is like, well, what do you do? Like, let's say like you single-handedly close down every club in New York City. Well, then what? What do you do now? And that's the thing. Even if he were to be successful, like, you're not going to be known for that, buddy. Like, nobody's going to remember you for that. So
no, I mean, their legacy will be like terrible.
It's like non-existent.
It's why I don't get what they're thinking. Like, going down this path. It's very like pathetic and sad.
It is sad. Like, I do feel sad for them, because I can.
And I'll take them out to coffee and have a talk with them.
Yeah, and that's what I've noticed too, is like your DMs are open, your email is open. Like, these people can hit you. You can have a conversation about it, but it's like they don't want to. They just like, I don't know.
I tweeted at Eva Braun yesterday, like, hang today.
Hang today. Oh yeah.
Yeah, I'll hang with them. I'll talk to them.
They must hate so much that like you're Jewish. It like ruins their story.
Yeah. I'm gonna like tweet a video we did for AOC tomorrow.
Oh my God. Yeah, I don't know. I think a lot of lefties are like really upset that like Biden getting into office is not like immediately solving all their problems. So maybe like they're angry about that and they've got to take it out somewhere.
I mean, I think they need like long-term like therapy and like a team of like doctors.
Oh, for sure. Oh, yeah. Both of them are therapist dream for sure. They would just be like, see so many dollar signs.
In a lab or stuff.
Right, because it's like you'll get trolls before, but like, these two come after anyone who's basically really successful is a target for them. Like Compound Media, Legion of Skanks.
I think about like the SS, like after I picture him like sitting in his room, like in Idaho, right, in his bedroom, and then he like walks down to his kitchen and his parents are there. Like,
like hey mom, hey dad.
Like, what have you been doing? He's like, oh, I'm just tweeting at comics in New York, trying to bring them down. Like, do you think his parents like him? What do you think his parents think of his career choices?
Well, if he's an only child, right? Then they're like, oh well, it's different. He's probably I would imagine they're both like the least successful of their siblings. Yeah, I mean, it sounds like it. I don't think either of them work. I don't think either of them like have jobs.
His parents.
Oh yeah, I'm sure their parents like support both of them, and really? I'm envious of that. Like, I wish I had rich parents that were just like paying my rent or keeping me afloat.
You don't think his parents are like talking in their bedroom at night, like, what's he doing?
Yeah, they're probably like, he's lost. I wish he would just hang on to a
Twitter. You need to cut his internet off.
Just get him a good girlfriend. We'll take him to a youth group at our church or something. So I don't know. Yeah, like, how are you? I appreciate that you're just like kind of unfazed by this. Like, where do you feel like your kind of your balls or your like, it's weird to call it like bravery, but like, where do you feel like you're like, because you've got balls, like you respond and you're funny and you're sticking up for comics. So where do you, I guess, like find your strength or?
Yeah. It's a good question. I just turned 40, by the way.
So congrats! You don't look it, girl.
Man, but I've been an entrepreneur since I'm 19. And my wife's yelling in the background.
So I'm a grown-ass man with a family.
Billy, everyone hears you yelling. Good. Good. Yeah, I mean, I've had my own businesses since I'm 19. I never really worked for anyone, and I just had to like do everything myself and make money. And so I'm like, when I want something, like I'm very determined just to get what I want, and like no one can stop me.
Yeah.
Like I don't like I'm in business with 21 years. Like no one. Yeah, I think it's like Trump's mentality. Like whatever comes his way, like he'll just plow through that, and that's like probably the only thing I respect about him.
Yeah.
He's not afraid. He has a lot of ambition, and he won't let like the haters stop him, and he'll fight back, and I like that.
And it's almost like I was listening to like I think it was like Tim Pool and Mike Cernovich today. We're talking about like when this is true of entrepreneurs or somebody who has like a lot of responsibility, even guys who have kids like kind of early on, they're kind of forced to bring it. They're forced to step up to the plate because they've got responsibilities. They've got to make more money. They've got to like, it's kind of like fight or flight, man. And I think entrepreneurs are just like a perfect example of that. It's like you don't have time to like bitch and moan and fight with somebody on Twitter. Like you have to focus on like how to make money, how to be a success.
I mean, that's why when I tweet at them, it's more like in a playful way, and I troll them, and I don't really take what they say seriously. I have fun. It's sort of entertaining. It's entertaining to me. Like when I had someone, put Eva Braun's face on a tennis ball, like it was like a creative project for me,
Yeah, and that's the definition of trolling, is to like expose somebody's sensitivities in like a playful way, just like getting them to be triggered, basically.
Yeah, I like that.
Like at the end of the day, they're victims of their own triggers and their own like emotion.
And I could take things very far. I think I'm very good at like taking things very far, and I've gone as far as like thinking about doing like a 30-minute like documentary.
Oh yeah,
called Cockroach, the Seth Simon story.
Yeah. Oh man, let me know if you need
yeah, just like interviewing, comics. And going to Idaho just to interview his teachers and people he grew up with.
He lives in Idaho.
I would get like an Airbnb like right next to his house. Like I don't care.
Yeah, he's not even in New York. It's like you're
I want to get an Airbnb right next to him.
Yeah.
And like not tell him I'm there, but just like go to the same diner as him and like sit across from him and not acknowledge him and go home.
Right, and if you bumped into either of these two twats in person, they would not have the balls to say any of this to your face. They would ignore you, or they'd
I would be nice to them also. I'd be like, "Yo, what's up? Let's get coffee."
Yeah, and that's always a good indication. Like, oh, would I say this to this person's face?
Yeah, no, I wouldn't hurt anyone physically. I wouldn't yell at them. I saw him like in a diner. I'd be like, let's have a coffee. I'm like very easy to get along with.
I would like pay that. I would like pick up their bill and I'd be like, I got you. I know you're struggling.
Yeah.
Dani, what are your feelings on the future of New York? Are you hopeful about, things opening up more? How are you feeling about everything?
It's hard to say, to be honest with you. Like, I think for New York to like be close to what it was like before, I think we need to start like opening things up and opening up like the office buildings and letting people like go to the office and opening up clubs and restaurants. I just think we need to take that risk in order to save the city, because like you go to Midtown, it's a ghost town. Like there's only construction workers there. There's no one in the office buildings. All the restaurants are closed down.
When I go to Grand Central, when I go to Grand Central on Mondays, even like now, even like, February or January 2021, it's still just as basically empty as it was March of last year. It's just like there's very few people walking around.
I mean, I think we lost like a part of New York. I don't know if we know what that part is yet, but I think
you think by all the people who moved away, or just like a piece of its soul.
I think we lost something. I don't know what yet. Like I think
because it feels different.
It feels different. Yes, It's like very like new and unknown now. That's why I think like things need to just open up and get back to normal as fast as possible, and then like we can determine like what was lost, if anything, and just see if we can just get back on track to be close to what we were before.
Yeah, I'm so afraid like the only restaurants that are going to be able to afford to like resurface are going to be like Olive Garden and TGI Friday and like.
Yeah, it's sad. Like I'm on the Upper West Side. Like a lot of stores have closed. It's our leadership's horrible. Cuomo's just terrible. De Blasio is like
he's
another planet.
Oh God, he really is on another planet. Like he is delusional.
I don't know what he's doing. That guy. Look at our assembly people and Congress. They all suck. Like Jerry Nadler. You know him?
No, I don't.
Google him, but he's like waddling around the Upper West Side.
Oh God, have you ever seen him?
Yeah, I see him all the time.
Wow.
But he's like our congressman, but he's old and like they're not doing anything.
Yeah, and if they're rich, it's like they don't really like old rich dudes in New York. Like I don't know. It's really hard for them to care about anybody but themselves.
Yeah, and regarding like the next mayor, like I don't know, no one really excites me who's running.
Yeah, I interviewed a couple of guys who were running, and now I've like forgotten both their names already. I can't believe it.
I think Trump could bring back New York.
Yeah. Oh man, I feel like he could too.
I feel we need someone, someone with like a big personality.
Yeah, someone to get you excited about New York again.
Yeah, I don't think we have that in the current field.
Yeah. But yeah, you guys are going to do what you can. Like as soon as it gets warm. I mean, probably I could see you guys starting. What you think? April? You'll start with the park shows again?
Yeah, I think so. I think April's good.
Yeah. Did you think it would be this long last year when things shut down?
No, it's been over 11 months. It's crazy.
Yeah.
I didn't think it was going to be this long.
It's been a long 2 weeks for sure.
But a lot of like good things have come out of it also personally for me.
Oh yeah?
Yeah,
like
no,
what's changed?
I mean, I didn't, I felt like the club never had like a voice. It wasn't my voice. I don't know. I really, whoever booked the club was really like their vision. But during COVID, like I really like took over and like I made the club like my own. And like what you see like since like May has just been just like my vision and my voice. I manage the social account. Most of the posts you see is like from May.
Oh, okay. Oh, great.
And it's like it's working. Like we've doubled our Instagram following.
Wow.
I'm like managing like my employees better. And like I'm in charge where like before I owned the club, but I wasn't really in charge.
What made you want to take more of an active role?
I think it's the park shows. I think it's after we started that, comics would walk over to me and audience would walk over to me and tell me like how awesome it was. That we were doing that. I think that just gave me purpose.
Wow.
I think that's really what it was.
And you could really feel like how they were so thankful and
and I wanted to continue that. Yeah, I mean, I got letters from people. I got postcards from people. 2 people came by the club today. Like I work at the bar, so two people like knocked on the door, like asking for me and wanted to thank me for like doing what we're doing.
Wow.
And that's really good. And that never happened before COVID.
Yeah. And it's kind of amazing that, you just owned the club for so many years and you...
it flew by. I don't know what the hell I was doing.
Yeah. Well, now you're really in it.
But now, and then when we reopen, like, I'm just going to have a totally different perspective on things.
And comics will remember too. They will remember the people who sort of like stuck up for comedy. They'll remember the clubs who had their back, and the people and places that were giving them opportunities. So it definitely will go both ways, and we'll be there in case you guys are ever need help or in trouble. So
appreciate that.
It's good stuff. Dani, where can people find you, follow you, or check out what Stand Up New York is up to?
Yeah, I mean the club's channels is Stand Up NY on Instagram, Stand Up NY on Twitter. We're on Facebook also, but it's not so active, that page. And then my personal Instagram is my name, Dani Zoldan. On Twitter, DZoldan. Our website is standupny.com. And yeah, we're going to continue like being crazy and putting on shows wherever we can put on shows. We do shows on the one train every Saturday night, which is fun.
Yeah, how did that start up? Like I've been seeing pictures and videos. I'm like, I can't believe you guys are doing shows on the subway.
It was just an idea that I had a few months ago. I didn't know if it was going to stick. I thought maybe we'd do like one and see how it goes. And what, Sydney? I'm not making you grilled cheese now. I don't know how to make grilled cheese.
Just make her a really terrible grilled cheese, and she won't ask you again.
Okay.
Just put it in the microwave, and she'll be like, "This is terrible," and then she won't ask you to do it again.
She's smart. Yeah, that's smart. It's a good idea. Maybe I'll try that. But yeah, I mean the train shows, like, I thought it was just an idea. We did it once, and then like people liked it, so we were just like, let's do it again next Saturday night. And we've probably done it for like 2 months already. And It's very like New York, very random. Like usually it's like 15 audience members come, 6 comics. We meet at 72nd on Broadway in front of Bloomingdale's. We take the one train down to South Ferry, then we transfer to come back uptown. People bring like canned wine And we turned the last car into a comedy club.
Why did you pick the 1 train?
Because it's around the corner from my apartment.
I just didn't know something about that train or like.
Yeah, no, I just don't, and I go every Saturday night.
Wow.
So it's really just for me.
Wow, that's amazing. And like from your observations, like how many people are into it? How many people are like feeling like, oh man, we're kind of being like bombarded with random comedy?
No, well, when we go downtown, for some reason, like we're usually the only ones in the car. Then when we transfer and come uptown, like people start coming on, and it's funny, like seeing their reaction. They're walking into a comedy club.
Wow.
And a comic's like, oh, come and have a seat, and they laugh. It's funny.
It reminds me of like this group Improv Everywhere. They used to do like the paintless subway ride. I don't know if they probably haven't done it in a couple of years now.
Yeah, I remember that.
But it was like this cool feeling of like, there's something happening. Like, so it's like that's kind of like one of the magic parts of New York.
Cool. Like strangers are like smiling and.
Yes. Yeah.
It's cool. You should come do a show.
Yes, definitely. Yeah, maybe on like a Monday or something, because I'll be in there already.
I mean, you do it Monday, but we only do it Saturday nights.
Oh, Saturday. Okay, Saturday. I'll be by myself if I come on Monday. Yes, everybody follow Dani on Twitter to check out his trolling back of the trolls.
I have support from you to troll. Continue trolling.
Yes. Continue trolling. It's inspirational. It makes us feel at ease and like, all right, yeah, this is not a big deal.
Yeah.
And follow stand-up.
My therapist said I should ignore.
Who said that?
My therapist.
Your therapist? Oh, well.
Said ignore.
Really?
But my personality is just, I just want to troll them. I want to order pizza from Eva Braun's joint and have him deliver
That's
like
really
3 times a day.
Oh my God. Yeah, I would say, yeah, do it until it's not fun or it doesn't feel good. Yes, everybody follow Stand Up New York, follow them on Instagram, check out the website. So sign up for, I assume you guys have a newsletter so you guys can be first to know when the shows are coming back. Dani, this was a pleasure. It was so great to talk to you.
Same here. Thanks for having me.
Can't wait to see you in real life one day.
Same here.
All right. Talk to you soon, buddy.
All right. Have a great night.